She appears out of nowhere, like a shadow gliding across the water. At first, I see only the tiniest sparkle, a little nose breaking the surface of the lake. Then quick ripples, like the ones a pebble makes when it hits the water. And suddenly, she's right there, pulling herself up to the kayak, climbing inside, and setting into my lap as if she's always known that's where she belongs. This is Leia, the one who once changed my life. The first time Leia came to me on her own and let me pet her, I couldn't believe it. Leia is a wild, cautious creature by nature, but she acted like we'd been friends for years. She burrowed into my jacket, tucked her little face inside, and started playing with my hand as if I'd been her lifelong companion. But it all began very differently. One day I was walking through the forest when I heard a strange, piercing cry. It sounded a bit like a kitten, but sharper, unfamiliar. We followed the sound and found a tiny bundle lying in the grass, barely moving. It was Leia, so small her eyes were still closed, shivering from the cold. We stepped back, hoping her mother would return. But the hours passed and the silence remained. I knew that if we left her there, she probably wouldn't survive. It was a hard decision. I had never cared for a baby Leia before. But in that moment, the choice became clear. I picked her up and carried her home. In those first days, Leia was completely helpless. She spent most of her time sleeping or simply lying pressed against me. She barely ate, and I was afraid she might never get strong enough. But with each passing day, she became more active. And I knew Leia wasn't meant to live indoors. My job was to help her return to the wild. We started with a small inflatable pool in the yard. Leia circled the edges for a long time, sniffing the water, testing it with her paws. Then finally she took the plunge for her first little swim. A few days later, we went to the lake. I sat on the shore while she explored the shallows, constantly glancing back at me as if to check she was going the right way. Before long, Leia was following me everywhere. Within a couple of weeks, my other rescued pets, Tiger and Juan, accepted her into their pack. They raced around the yard, played hide and seek, and sometimes even curled up to sleep together. That's when I knew Leia wasn't just stronger. She had found a real family. But then, one day, I noticed she was spending more time in the water, swimming farther from the shore. That was the sign. She was ready. Letting her go was hard. You pour your soul into someone, and then you realize they have to follow their own path. I took her to a quiet bay and released her. She looked back as if to remember where to find me, and then disappeared into the deep. Since then, Leia has come back from time to time. Sometimes I'll spot her without warning. The little nose, the ripples in the water, and then she's back in my kayak again. We sit together just like before, and it feels like nothing has changed. But I know now she lives her own life, and I'm just lucky to still be a part of her story. I never imagined Leia could be so affectionate, so attached. It's a once-in-a-million chance, meeting someone wild who chooses to be your friend. And I'm grateful for every moment we've shared. If you enjoyed this story about Leia, please like, comment, and subscribe to see more touching and inspiring stories.
Before bringing an exotic pet into your home, be sure to consult with experts and learn about their specific needs. Proper research is the key to giving them the happy, healthy life they truly deserve.